It's time to play Shoe Scene Investigator, and we're going to look at a pair of shoes and see if we can figure out what happened in this crime. And so if we look at these running shoes, we see quite an abused pair of unhappy shoes that have just been worn to a frazzle. And so there's several things that I look at when I evaluate a running shoe. The first thing I notice here is this kind of a macrame system of lacing the shoes. And I can guarantee you that this person never did unlace their shoes to take them off, because they've got them triple and quadruple knotted here. So with that kind of lacing configuration, they're pulling these shoes off and putting a lot of wear around the top rail and then the heel collar. So the most obvious thing is a huge amount of destruction along the top rail. The reason this happens in these shoes, where you see the top rail material worn off, is most likely this runner is running with the foot turned in, and during the swing phase of the gait they're glancing across, and now you can see the perfect fit of this forefoot glancing through the top rail, wearing away the material. The other thing that is interesting to note is this big hole here. And when a person runs with their feet turned in like that, when they go to toe off, the foot tends to slide sideways, and the fifth metatarsal head is rubbing a hole in the side of the shoe. Not surprisingly, when we look at the last and we see where the major wear is, it's wearing toward the outside of the foot. Keep in mind that your strongest joint is over here, where your big toe joins the foot. You get a special set of muscles just for that joint, and yet this person pretty much avoids any kind of contact here and opts for applying more pressure to the outside of the foot. This is because the foot's probably inverted and they're rolling over this way. Another interesting aspect of this pair of shoes is this area right here. This may be hard to see on the video, but the rest of the shoe has a kind of waffle pattern with these lugs along here, and now it's completely missing, and we're down into the softer material, and this hard rubber section is worn out, and we see a flat spot right there, what we call a facet. Facet comes from the ancient Greek word facere, which means face. It's just like the face of a diamond. It's worn flat right there. And this is what happens when the shoes glance by during the swing phase of the gait. And this is during the flight phase, when both feet are in the air. The shoes will come across and they'll meet and glance across, causing a wear pattern. Normally, when the foot crosses the midline in this fashion, it means that you have a weak gluteus medius muscle, and your weak gluteal muscles are allowing the foot to drift across the midline, which should not occur. You should be able to separate your feet and avoid glancing as you're running. So just some interesting things to look at when you're evaluating shoes. You can do this on yourself, and you can help your friends by knowing just a little bit about shoe wear patterns.